Good evening. Welcome home. My name is Daniel Brower. I use he, she, or they pronouns, and I am the transitional minister here at First Christian Church of Decatur. I don't know why I sit here. Clearly, I am in my house, not at the church. But regardless of where I am, it is still 6:01. It is still Wednesday, which makes this 6:01 Wednesday, the part of the week where I come to you live via Facebook to check in and offer you a little something to get you through the week. I hope everyone else also stays warm in their house during this wild Georgia weather. 2 snow in 1 month is wild to me. As you can see, I'm prepared, jacket on, so is the heat. I am not built for this. Okay? I don't like it. But I don't like a lot of things lately. There's a lot of stuff going on these days that's like, hate that a bunch. And a while ago, far too long ago, honestly, I tried to come up with an exact figure, and that got even more depressing, so I abandoned it. But a long time ago, on here, during the beginning of the escalation of the violence between Israel and Palestine, I did a 601, and the point of it was that we don't always have to have the new thing to say in the face of overwhelming evil. When terrible things happen, there's typically a rush among spiritual or civic leaders, publishers, people with any kind of a platform to put out a statement, to say something that is clever or wise or makes a difference. And I stand by that statement, you know, because there are people who need to make these statements, who need to make plain that what is happening is abnormal or wrong or antithetical to our Christian values. People like Bishop Marianne Buddy, Bishop of Washington, who is not only in a position to speak truth to power, but brave enough to do so. Those who are in the public eye, who people lean on to know what's normal, how to respond, what are we saying about this? Folks like that do have a duty to say plainly when things are not right. And then there are those who don't really need to jump on the web and give their 2 cents every time something happens. That's kind of more who I meant with my previous 601, folks who don't have a platform per se, but they're in a leadership position, so they feel like they're failing in their Christian duty if they don't issue a statement about the latest atrocity happening in the world. People like, I don't know, pastors of smallish sized Georgia churches, for instance. We don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel and find something new and insightful and infinitely clever to say when things are this dire. To me, in these cases, it is enough to speak the truth. Now, that may not make me sound very smart because I'm only repeating the words of others. And it definitely won't put me on the map as the next great theological mind of my generation. What speaking the truth does do, though, is that it continues to spread that truth. There are forces at work now more than ever determined to order and legislate away truth and love and decency. And while it may not feel big or original or groundbreaking to speak against these things, it's something that we have to do. It's necessary to normalize the telling of the truth rather than the acceptance of lies and violence. So I am not jumping on 601 tonight to say anything clever or new. I am live on Facebook tonight as a pastor of a smallish Georgia church to affirm the gospel of Christ. This gospel was brought to us by the man Jesus, who came to bring healing to the sick and freedom captives, who aid the sex workers and condemned those who played at religion practicing hate. I follow the word of the one who said, love your neighbor as yourself, even and especially when that neighbor is someone who is not like you. The gospel is love, mercy, and peace to all people, no matter nationality or legal status or gender or anything like that. Healthcare for all people is a part of that gospel. Welcome and care for the poor, immigrant, and unhoused is part of that gospel. Love and acceptance of people of all genders or no gender is part of that gospel. Respect for women and minorities is part of that gospel. These things matter. What doesn't matter is anyone who tries to pretend or provoke or sign away these truths. Because regardless of those that try to wish it away, these truths remain. And they always will. No law can change that. These words are not mine only. They are not new, and they are not particularly witty or funny, unfortunately. They're just true. And they continue to be true today and every day. And they won't be silenced, no matter who is in office. Not unless we let it. Now more than ever, First Christian Church of Decatur is dedicated to being an inclusive beacon of the love of God to all people. That is non-binary people, that is trans people, that is undocumented people, that is unhoused people, that is all people. If you are looking for a place of welcome, we would love to see you whenever you're comfortable. This Sunday coming up, the 26th, we have a special program going on. It is going to be the second Break Bread Together of the month, which means that we are going to have a full potluck meal as the Lord's Supper. And we are hosting the Reverend Dr. Lee Carroll to walk us through the history and the timeline of our particular church here at First Christian. We're going to look back on the ways that God has used us in the past, and hopefully that will give us inspiration and vision to see our way to a future where God continues to use us to show God's big love to a world that needs it now more than ever. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you need a little bit of fun and kindness and hope in your week, I encourage you to join us. And if not, that's okay too. Because there's 3 more truths I want to add to the ones I already talked about. God made you special. God loves you very much. And so do I. Y'all take care of yourselves tonight, and I will see you when I see you. Good night, everyone.